I chose the path of a global vet, which usually takes me to some of the most remote locations of the planet, putting me face to face with all sorts of species, as well as the treacherous environments that surround them. My journey has led to some interesting characters, mind-blowing situations, and even modeling gigs. No day is alike or predictable, but it's my animal friends that matter most. I'm traversing the globe. I'm using cutting-edge medical practices and ancient ones. I'm saving lives. I am Dr. Wild. So what is my day like? Well, it's not terribly different from yours. I wake up, crawl out of bed, I have my coffee, and I get in the car, or on an elephant, or however I can manage to commute to the office.
Are you a doctor?
For animals. Real doctors treat more than one species. Kidding. As a wildlife vet, people often ask me where my office is. I tell them, everywhere. They ask what my hours are, and I say, all of them. I'm sometimes surprised at how I wound up here. But over the course of many years and odd opportunities in animal medicine, I began to collect some really unique skill sets. For instance, my studies in Eastern medicine led to my Chinese veterinary acupuncture sessions, which I decided to perform on elephants. Yeah, you heard me right. I do acupuncture on elephants.
You're doing so great, Bubba. I know. That one hurts on me too.
And apparently, I was the first person to do this in the past 3,000 years. Many times when the call comes, I don't know all the logistics or exactly how I'm going to get to a place. I'm usually half told what's going on with the animal and how long we have to respond. This particular call came from the African Wildlife Foundation. They needed assistance with lions in Tanzania, chimps in Uganda, gorillas in Rwanda, elephants in Zimbabwe. Okay, no specifics, just this is the situation. Just bring the supplies necessary, and that's what I do. You just kind of roll with the punches. On it.
Okay,
Wait,
so we can...
I have the clipboard in here then. Even though my personal life was a little bit haywire as I was trying to plan an engagement party, which I did not want an engagement party, but we did it anywho to make everybody else happy, and a wedding. So I coordinated with my amazing now husband, Joe, who's like this big MMA fighting kind of guy, to babysit my teacup chihuahua named Pixie Dust. So try to imagine him walking through the streets of New York with this teeny little chihuahua. It almost looked like itself a comedy show. That shows true love and commitment, so that I could jump on a plane and go save these animals. First stop was Tanzania, which didn't turn out to be such a fun place to be, since airport security held our camera and medical equipment for ransom. So imagine you get off a plane and you're exhausted. Who enjoys taking plane rides for 12, 14 hours? No one. 0 people. Only for these gentlemen to tell me, sorry, we're taking your medical equipment and your filming equipment, and we were told that we needed to provide a bond of about $30,000 in order to get it back. They then proceeded to take our passports, and I realized I was in deep doo-doo. Of course, nothing ever goes to plan. But as I listened for about an hour to these gentlemen all chatting about the situation, finally, I stated to the gentlemen that I had been recording everything on my cell phone and that they really needed to release us. I'm glad my bluff worked because I had no internet, so I wasn't able to send that video to actually anybody. But the bluff worked. They released us. And so thankfully, we got our tails out of there onto a plane to Uganda. Arguably, the best task force is 4-legged and tail wagging, the canine unit, and they happen to be my patients. Here I met up with Leonard Mwanja, who heads up the operation. The canine unit is actually used to sniff out wildlife crime.
We train on a daily basis. Just as they go to work, they keep training these dogs.
The relationship between dog and handler is, needless to say, indescribable. Elsa is one of the Canines for Conservation's top sniff-down dogs. They can actually locate rhino horn or elephant tusk. One major issue, though, is that often when a veterinary emergency erupts, it happens out in the field. Leonard needed me to train his team on basic canine CPR, essentially emergency medicine.
We hold our hands like this, you see? And you have to keep your arms some people go like this, whatever works, honestly, to keep you strong and steady.
After fun sessions of petrifying Elsa using Leonard as my dog prop, we decided to head over to the Entebbe airport to see Elsa in action.
Jeff has hidden something in there while we were here, so Dina and Elsa don't know where it is. It is now Dina's task here, with the help of Elsa, to trace for where this item is.
These dogs are trained noses. Humans have about 5 million smell receptors, but dogs have about 300 million. So they have, needless to say, the best resume for sniffing out hippo teeth and tusks, which may be hidden by poachers in airport cargo holds.
Yes. So this is the box here.
Yeah.
You see, these are pangolins. This is 25 grams. So all this together is just 70 grams.
A pangolin scale.
Yes, but the dog is able to sniff this out. So you will find that if you put your nose here, it's very difficult to smell this. You can now touch.
So we're having dogs not only save the animals, but help save the world.
Yes.
It just goes to show how amazing this program is, because you really can't get past these dogs. Leonard and I said our goodbyes, and I was back from the detour to my next stop. Zambia was a piece of heaven because we would be taking care of children that were part of a school that focused on wildlife conservation called Lupani.
Our visitors have come, let's receive them, let's welcome them.
We're surrounded by children with hopefulness. What more could you want?
That was so humbling. Thank you for that beautiful welcome, the poems, the songs. I couldn't be more excited to be here.
Just like to us, we see squirrels and deer in our backyard. They are traumatized by elephants wreaking havoc on their farmland. To them, that's a massive pest. And elephants can be lethal. So to them, they view them in a way that is the most horrible type of pest. So therefore, it perpetuates this distrust and dislike for them, when we know at the end of the day, it's just because of territory issues, human-animal conflict. We're able to discuss with them these issues, how we can mitigate it, and how we can have a world altogether.
We have more people. We then need more farms. We then cut down more trees. And we therefore go onto more elephant territory, so we have more conflicts with them. If we got rid of all the elephants, the ground was bad, and then we get lots of water, then we get lots of mosquitoes, then we get malaria. Every animal is very important to our ecosystem, right? It's part of conservation. We need them and they need us. But that's why through Lupani, you're making corridors so the elephants stay away from you and they go into these more natural areas.
A lot of excitement, so we decided to go out in the field.
Do you guys, oh, there's some more right there.
It's that one said.
You see it? I asked everybody, do you like elephants? And only you said you liked them, which was amazing. So now, you've all seen elephants.
Yes.
Do you like elephants?
Yes.
They're beautiful, right? did. Oh, amazing. Let's all scream for elephants. Elephants!
An amazing time with the children. And it was happily ever after. If somebody comes to me with an idea, a tangible idea that we can use to help animals, I am more than happy to listen and be there. A lot of people tell me, oh, so you do modeling? No, I don't. I'm really short. I'm 5'3". In fact, I'm very bad at even just doing makeup. I only know how to do one look, and that's it. So the reason why I ended up going into a little bit of the fashion world was to draw people in, because it's a beautiful form of art. We all wear clothes, not all of us, that's not true. Most of us wear clothing, and it's a beautiful form of expression, but two, it's a terribly corrupt industry. And I thought this would be a fantastic way to segue into how humans and animals are all interconnected. So we decided to team up together to do something truly wild. Just turn me into an elephant. Many people find them less jazzy than, say, a lion. So we wanted to just bring some pizzazz. These designers put heart, body, and soul into the design. Does that match what the animal is? Does that give the energy? And just so you know, I was able to hand mix these berries to create the specific color, and they were all just so into it. Just got more ideas, and glitter here and glitter there, and I have so much respect for actors and what they go through. It is painful. When I would take a shower, it was crazy. All of the green or all of the white or pink that was coming off of me. And it was an incredible result. You would hope that the next part of our journey was simple, but nothing in my line of work is ever simple, including heading to Ngamba Island Chimpanzee Sanctuary. In order to get there, you have to take a little rickety boat, but you can't just do it at your leisure. You have to go during a certain time of day to avoid the boat capsizing because of the high tides on Lake Victoria. To tie everything down to prevent all of the water that's coming in from wetting all of the equipment. And we're all trying not to drink the water out of fear that we're going to get these terrible bacterial infections. And we just said it is what it is. If we all just die from some random disease, welcome to Africa. So we did manage to survive the boat trip, and then started our tour of the island to meet its well-respected and rather loud guests.
I'm gonna aim this way.
The most pressing situation was to take care of a very heartbroken little chimp named Rambo, who unfortunately got into a little spat with another chimp over a girl. As a reward, he received a little punch on his cheek that resulted in an abscess. My assignment was to knock out Rambo, not quite how he had received his abscess, but anesthetically knock him out and drain out his abscess. We would also do a routine physical and routine blood work. None of this could be done without my fellow colleague and wildlife veterinarian, Dr. Joshua, and of course, the keepers at Ngamba Island. With this procedure and anesthetic concern, he wanted assistance from someone with my specific background.
Do you want me to run anesthesia? You want to do anesthesia procedure? What do you want?
You do the procedure.
Sure.
Watch it.
Sounds great. No, I love it. I love squeezing the pus.
This can get pretty gross. Think of it as essentially the ultimate Dr. Pimple Popper. Whether it's just a simple physical examination that requires anesthesia, or if it's something that's a little bit more invasive, like a little surgery, I make sure that we have a checklist before I even enter the building.
So we want him to have a little bit of pain so he's aware that he needs to tend to himself, but we also don't want him to be so painful that obviously he's painful, and B, that the others can pick on him easily. So it's a balancing act. Do you want me to give it in?
The procedure began. Rambo went down quite easily. One shot, done. So I do every examination the same exact way, literally from head to toe. You don't want to forget, oh, did you forget to take a urine sample? Oh, did you forget to grab some blood? You want to make sure that you have instant IV access, so that way if you need something, like you need to reverse a drug because they're having a reaction, you have that ability. Rambo's abscess had already gone unattended for about a month. Slowly, I made the incision and began to drain the abscess.
Oh, it's juicy, all right.
So, as soon as it lasted.
I thought by the time I lanced and drained this thing, I'd be done. But it just kept pouring out like lava. It doesn't bother me, blood and schmutz. It bothers me in a person. Ugh. I could never be a human doctor, ever.
Getting into a tussle with another male.
And I kept flushing it and flushing it. I thought, gosh, how, this has been here for centuries, not for a month.
Corax comes in different colors, so the orange doesn't really necessarily tell you that that's Corax. It could be blue, for example. But that is the Corax that I just put on the spot to try to clean it as much as possible before and give it, a few minutes of contact time.
Finally, the pus all came out, or the medical term, the purulent debris.
This will continue to drain, which is a good thing. And eventually the fibrosis, which is what happened here, this is all fibrosis. There's nothing left inside of here.
Dr. Joshua and I were grateful it was over. We then decided we were finished. We could reverse our anesthetic, get this kid back into a squeeze cage so he can recover with our keepers safely, calmly, and in peace.
That's it. Perfect.
And the next morning, he woke up, he had his breakfast, and he was able to go back to his friends. Sometimes wildlife can be a little bit funny. When they're returning to a group of animals, they can sometimes be picked on because they know something unique has happened to them. But he was accepted back to his group without any issues. Soaking up the last few beautiful moments with Rambo, the other chimps, and my fellow creature caregivers, Team Wild sadly had to pack up to follow up with our next pair of patients, a cheetah and a shoe-billed stork. We finally made it back to the mainland and regained our internet connection. No worries, Pixie Dust was doing great, fiancé was surviving, and I had a bajillion emails regarding the wedding. But in consideration, we survived a kidnapping in Tanzania, we made it through Canines for Conservation and CPR training, an amazing time with the children, modeling, wild surgery, and Rambo doing pretty well. With all of that said, the wedding planning was going to be a piece of cake. You go out into the wild and it's a completely different game. Your perspective of life completely changes.